Oh man, welcome to the GoTo Biz Pro series. Thanks for being here with us today,
Yeah,
Carmen. And
looking forward to it.
We are so excited to offer this Facebook Live series. The GoTo Biz Pro resources, it's a GoTo Biz Resources Pros and Peers series, and it's a Facebook Live. We started it out with just about 7 folks in mind. We're so excited because that's going to extend a series that we're going to try to do every week. And this is hello everybody, it's National Small Business Week, and so we're so excited to celebrate that with the audience. This is interactive, so if you have any questions or comments, please do. I usually forget this part. Please do.
It's on my count.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. You'll hear a voice come over the air, and that'll be Xander, our producer. So thanks to Xander for taking care of us here. We offer and welcome your questions, your comments. And we're here today, I'm so excited about this, talking to Carmen DeHart, who's the Executive Director of the Small Business Technology Development Center. And they are the go-to biz resource when you want to really start building your company and scaling your company. And that's across the board. So when we talk about small business and we talk about that small business focus, the SBTDC, which is a statewide, Missouri statewide and national really resource that works with SBA. We had Casey SourceLink on earlier. We had Digital Sandbox on earlier. Both of those are in the same office. You're all in the same space,
We are
which
47th and Troost.
we are 4747
That's
True.
it,
So you can connect the dots. But thanks for joining us today.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. I look forward to our conversation.
Yeah. So that as we have talked about in the past, as we work with clients, whether they're starting up or scaling up, what are some of the pitfalls that you see? They're kind of those natural pitfalls that a small business or a startup business might be like falling into.
Well, it's interesting that you say whether you're starting or whether you're scaling, because honestly, they are different in nature, but they're pretty much the same kinds of pitfalls that I might suggest. And certainly one is a plan. You know, you really do need to have a plan when you start. You need to plan when you scale, because if we don't plan, then we're planning to fail, quite frankly. And there are as many businesses that, you know, will start and not make it and succeed, as well as plan to grow and grow themselves into bankruptcy. All because we don't look at the simple things that we're told over and over to do. Look at the market. Are we really, you know, solving a compelling problem? Whether it's a startup, do you really have an issue in the marketplace that somebody's willing to pay for, that they're willing to drive to, that they're willing to hire you to do? For a person who's scaling, again, is this an area of your business that really your customers are going to want to advance into, or you have your new markets identified, whether that's going to be national or international? Is that new product or service that maybe you're going to want to move into? Is that well, you know, have you researched it? Have you done the legwork to have your assumptions that yes, this is an area for growth, expansion, startup, whatever, that has been researched with good market research, whether that's primary or secondary. You know, that one-on-one, just truly identifying with a potential customer, not my aunt or, you know, my mom or my husband.
Not somebody's going to tell you what you really want to know.
Not those, but somebody who's really going to take their hard-earned cash out and buy. So planning, understanding the finances, the how important cash flow is.
Sure.
Again, we work with existing business owners every day that still, by luck or just good effort, they've made it past startup, not really knowing how to understand financials.
But they're still rolling as if they were that sole proprietor or that early stage. And so we talked to, in the last couple of weeks, we've talked to Barrett Evans, who's with Casey Biz Solutions, and he talked about putting process in place so that you have good practices. And when we talked to Jenny with SourceLink, it was find a problem, you know, fill a need, or find, you know, offer that solution. So what you're really talking about is getting into the detail of your business and knowing your market and understanding your price points and understanding. So it's not that high level, hey, I'm really good at marketing, so I'm going to go pitch it over here. But it's really about understanding where you are. And I love that you said, you've got to have a plan, and that plan really has to be articulated. It can't all just live up here. We've talked to a lot of people that they say, oh, I've got a pitch deck, or I don't need a business plan. I've read this book and I don't need this business plan. I need to just know where I'm going to go and be able to do that. So have you found, and what I've heard is consistency. You've got to have that articulated. That business planning or planning for business is really important.
And because one of the other pitfalls I would comment on is mindset. You know, thank goodness a startup usually has an entrepreneurial mindset. Absolutely. But we have to learn to focus that through these assumptions, being justified, et cetera, et cetera. And then if you're an existing business owner, it's almost changing that mindset again from being a startup to a CEO. How am I going to actually change the way that my role is, the way my responsibilities are? All of those kinds of behaviors are what you're kind of talking about. Know what you don't know for a business owner. You know, yes, you need a plan. Yes, you don't know everything. Yes, there are new ways of financing and funding, but it still is important to know how. And so absolutely, we find that time and time again that helping them change their mindset wherever they are in whichever phase of business, whatever brought them into their market or into their passion to start and grow, we need to work with them so that they continue to grow. And that's probably the primary thing that is maybe a nugget to take away, that wherever you are personally and professionally in your ability and in your development as an owner, as the individual, that's how far your business can go and grow.
Oh, that's a perfect point. Yeah. So the other part of that is then making sure that you're aware of where your strengths and weakness lie. So as a business owner, that you can really find that team, or and don't be afraid to ask for a resource. Don't be afraid to look for and seek out. Free resource doesn't necessarily mean bad resource. On some things, you
especially if it's the SBTDC.
Right.
Okay, I'm just saying.
These are no-cost resources to you, and there are people that have been there, done that in the field, the industry. That's one thing I'm just so impressed with the team, because they've all been in industry before. They've all worked through and at whatever iteration of that business scale, that business startup. So it's so exciting to work with that type of resource and have that type of resource in the Kansas City region too. Because you really truly are regional in nature. Right.
So the SBTDC or SBDCs are all endorsed and funded by the SBA, the Small Business Administration.
So this really is your national small business week.
So this really is. That's why it was so perfect. Absolutely. And within Missouri, our network has both business and technology accreditation to support those type businesses. And so yes, we actually are here at low to no cost, and I say not free because it's tax dollars. Right. We all, as we start business or are in business, we know we pay a lot in taxes. And so this is one of those ways that there's a return on your investment that you're making into the federal government. And they then fund back to the states. And so our state network, is filled with professionals here locally. Our region is Jackson, Clay, and Platte counties. And we also now are taking actually 8 counties up north in the Missouri Northwest region.
You're going into the Great Northwest.
We are going into the Great Northwest. And so we're very excited about that. But that is our regional focus. But there are, SBTDC or SBDC counselors and programs throughout the whole U.S.
So when
we can connect to.
Oh, that's fantastic. So whether it's government procurement, because that's a question we have a lot, or whether it's trademarking, if it's a patent, or we were just talking about product development, that's one of the things that
international
you all can address.
Trade's really big right now as well. There's lots of topics for both, to scale your business as well as a start wherever you are. But there, especially at 4747 Troost, we have a lot of programs, but certainly the SBA can connect you to many, many programs.
Oh, that's fantastic.
We actually have questions.
The
disembodied voice of Xander here, and you kind of talked on this a little bit, but can you elaborate on the expertise areas of the SBTDC and their staff?
Sure, absolutely. So I'll take you, because the SBTDC does support individuals all the way from startup concept to growth and successful exit strategies. Our expertise of our team and expertise of the services that we offer do span that entire phase of business process. We have a lot in business plan, as you can imagine, you know, business planning, business canvas, focusing in on feasibility all the way to execution of that idea and that concept is a lot of what we do. So that's a huge expertise we have. The market research that's involved in that, the financing and fundraising that's involved in that. If you're tech, then you're going to get more into the equity funding and the venture capital and those kinds of things. And we certainly help with pitch. We help with your you know, your valuations and getting everything ready so that you can meet with those investors and connections to like Digital Sandbox or, you know, certainly we have Digital Sandbox here in Independence now. So that is so exciting.
Yes.
So we work with
Jeff came and talked to us too.
Yes, we work with all the funders for that. As you move forward into business development, different phase, growth, trying to stay alive, we do a lot in operations, management, leadership. We support in QuickBooks, financials. We have certainly other opportunities in HR, and we do executive business coaching. International trade, I already mentioned. Economic gardening is one of those areas that we can support, where we can certainly help a company that says, you know, here's my area. What customers am I not touching in that area? You know, how can I dig deeper into my product or my service and get outside of those silos of whether that's local or international.
So it doesn't really have to be a long process, because we all are with our heads down running as entrepreneurs, as business owners. Even if you're looking at expanding that team, if you've got a specific question or if you've got a specific need, you can come in, target that need, talk. What should they already know before they come to you?
Again, it's kind of across the board because
depends on what they're
that's
asking.
exactly right.
Okay.
You know, but what I would say is every single one of our clients or participants in our workshops, we really want them to be a learner, to be open to knowledge and to learning what they don't know. So many times, you know, we do go through the pitfall of thinking we know everything, or just not knowing what we don't know. And as a business owner, I don't care if you're startup or you're succession planning, you are going to need to find out something you knew nothing about the day before if you're really going to be successful in that phase of business. Just be a learner, really.
And you just mentioned something that's really important, especially to small business, that we don't really talk a lot about, because in our world at the Innovation Center, we're into the startup and the scale up, and we're connecting the dots for people, for resources in those particular areas. You just mentioned succession. So as we're talking about National Small Business Week, as we're talking about small businesses across the board, no matter what type you are, whether it's service or product development or manufacturing or office oriented, whatever that is, as you are a business owner, and as you're scaling up, you really do need to think about succession as well.
Absolutely,
so that's a piece of it. As you're, whether it's 10 years in or 5 years in or 25 years in, you've got to have that conversation. And so that's really, you've seen that. That's a change that I've seen over the last 10 years as part of that discussion, and becomes part of the evolution of the life cycle of a business.
Yeah, I'm a second generation business owner myself. Now I say third generation business because my son's in it. So I've lived through that succession planning, and I absolutely am living it as well from a personal perspective. But as a whole in our region here, there are a lot of businesses in those very industries you mentioned that are just pivoting, ready for succession planning. And they may have started with the end in mind, but did they stay up on some of those changes, and how do we value businesses now, and how there's so many different ways that one can fund a succession plan now or transition into that. And that's certainly something we do both in our training. We have over 2,000 individuals that go through our training each year, whether that be, you know, startup or growth venture or ice house or succession planning. And we certainly do meet with folks one-on-one business coaching and counseling with that every day. We have a lot of programs where we can help them value their business from a financial perspective.
Oh,
so
that's excellent.
It is. We'll take up to, you know, 3 to 5 years of financials, and we'll enter them into the financial analysis spread that we use, Profit Sense, and actually be able to give the business owner, you know, kind of an idea of the value Blue Book value, financial value of that business going forward, which is very helpful because that's always
Oh
the
my
first
gosh,
part of
yeah.
that negotiation. Usually, you know, with a business owner,
Yeah.
they've been working on this. This is their retirement. They see that returned, you know, that retained earnings in there, and they really want to make that turn into more. And
Yes.
so we need to work towards that many times. It's not something we can do today. We have to work towards that end.
Well, and really, in whether you're scaling up or whether that valuation is one of those points that when we're talking early stage companies, if they're the inventor or if they're the ideation, it's really, how do I value this? You know, it's as you're starting, and then as you're scaling up, and maybe even you're bringing in partners or you're looking to sell that product. It's just one of those things that is a key piece of information that most of the time, I'm going to say this, most of the time they overvalue. And so to have something that you can defend, that's what we're all about, is making sure that the business owner has the facts and information that they can defend, whether they're talking to an investor, whether they're talking to someone who's sales, or whether they just have that knowledge base to be able to grow themselves.
Absolutely. If you're wanting to do equity or debt financing, you have to be able to defend it. The SBA funds many small businesses every day, whether that's through this step where they're actually buying into an existing business, or they're starting their own, and it has those financials, those assumptions have to be defended by an appraiser.
Well, that's fantastic. So again, great resource, SBTDC 4747 Truce.
Yes.
At the and also just a good wholesale review of our view of business and business ecosystem at that location. We are so pleased to have you. Thank you very much for being part of our GoTo Pro series. We love to refer people to you because we know that the SBTDC will take good care of them. The programs are always quality that you offer, and we're excited for today. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that, and those are kind words, but they really are true. We try our very best to bring the highest quality products and services to our small business clients, and so please, come by 4747 Truce.
There you go.
Or see us online at www.sbtdc.umkc@umkc.edu.
Wow, we've got that. Wow. So we want to invite our audience to come join us next time. We're at our GoTo Pro series. It's May 5th. At 9 o'clock, we're going to be talking to an As Seen on TV licensee. So it's a little bit of a different take. We've been talking about how to build the business, how to build the business plan, whether you're a service or a widget or you're in production. This time we're going to talk to a licensee. So if you've got an idea or you're an inventor and you don't really want to take it that full way, but you want to figure out how do I monetize my idea, this is a way to do it. So we're looking forward to talking to Carrie Jeske. And I want to say thank you again because the Innovation Center is 6 years old. We're going on our 7th year, and you were an integral part of the team that really set the pace and the vision for what we wanted to try to do here. So
absolutely. And I would just say, we meet with folks right here at the Innovation Center too.
Yeah,
and so you don't have to come down to 4747 Truce. I'm just used to saying that. But absolutely, if you're on the Eastern Jackson County areas, please let us know because we're right here partnering with the Innovation Center and would love to meet you right here at this great worker space.
There
if
you
nothing
go.
else,
Yeah,
this is fabulous.
So thanks again to WorksLab for allowing us to come in when there was a gap in the schedule here. We don't ever want to interfere with anybody working in the WorksLab, but it's a great professional space to be in. Again, we'll see you next time through, and Carmen, thank you so much.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
We'll see y'all later. Thanks.